All right, we're back for another one. We've been on a 4-episode bender together, working on the wastegate dump pipe and turbo dump pipe. And like you, I'm absolutely hungover from all the TIG welding and pie cuts and everything in between. We've got one last bit of fabrication to do, and that's to make some upper radiator mounts to get this VK radiator installed once and for all. And then we can move on to taking the Barra, turbo, everything else bolted onto it, and the transmission out, and get back in to the bodywork in the engine bay and undercarriage. Let's go. All right, in case you're wondering, the radiator I've decided to use is actually out of a VK Commodore, and it fits in the spot perfectly. And before I can start, what I need to actually do is bolt the intercooler back in, so we know exactly where that radiator is going to sit. I'll be glad when I'm bolting this on for good. It's never for good though, is it? These things never end. All right, I've got the intercooler in as you saw, and now I'm ready to drop the radiator in. And I'm not sure if I've called it out before, but I'm actually using some EK Civic bottom mounts. So there's actually a billet off the shelf radiator mount for the Honda Civic. And I've actually fabricated some mounts to bolt those to my XT, and the VK radiator drops straight into those. So effectively, that was the easy part. Now I need to actually fabricate some upper mounts, which I've got an idea of what we're going to do there. All right, so we've got the VK radiator sitting in, and of course we need to make the upper mounts. So I'm going to use the factory posts from a VK radiator, and I do have some round rubber mounts which actually fit straight on there. And what I'll do is actually get some round pipe that this fits snugly into, cut it to length, and then make an L bracket and then bolt it through the red support. So that's the idea. Not sure how it's going to work yet, but let's give it a go. All right, so you saw me cut this pipe up, and I've actually cleaned up the inside with a die grinder, just so I can get this rubber bushing through, so you can sort of see how that sits. And this will basically sit on the radiator itself, and then I'll have an L bracket welded on and bolted up to the car. So again, I'm not sure how this is going to turn out just yet, but winging it at the moment, and hopefully I land on something pretty good. So I've cut up a bit of square tube and made a bit of a bracket out of the offcut to bolt onto the car. So it still needs to be cleaned up, and I probably need to trim the edges off it to make it nice. But for now, what I'm going to do is just literally tack it up to the piece that you saw earlier. Once it's tacked on, I'll give it a few solid tacks and weld it out, and then look at shaping it up and drilling some holes in the car and drilling a hole in this and then tapping it, and hopefully we've got a part that works. So it's tacked together. So I'll go ahead and clean this up and try to fully weld it out, and then put a new bushing in and see how it looks on the car. As I called out, I do need to trim some of the edges, so I'm going to make a nice little angle there so it doesn't look like a absolute weird piece of bracketry. But yeah, that's the least of my worries at the moment. So yeah, first step is to get it properly welded, and then work out from there what's next. All right, I'll bring you back soon, and hopefully I've got something that looks like a bracket. All right, so I've got this little bracket mocked up, and as you can see, looks not bad. So what I'm going to do now is actually just seal off this end, box it up completely. So what you'll see once this is done is basically just this box section, and of course it'll bolt through the front section of the rad support. So I'm going to continue with this. It was largely an experiment, and I think it's looking all right. So I'm going to try to finish this off and hopefully come up with a finished product pretty soon. So yeah, my next plan is to seal off this section here and then put it back on the car, see how it looks, and if I'm happy with it, I'll then look to drilling holes through the rad support, and then again drill a hole that corresponds and tap it. So yeah, let's see how we go. Pretty confident it's going to turn out. The other side is going to be a little more challenging, but yeah, keen to at least get this one done for now. All right, so I've got this bracket mostly boxed out. As you can see, I've been grinding a front piece, which I just need to tack in, fully weld out, and call it done. Basically paint it up and, you know, make it look good. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with how this looks. But for now, what I'm just going to do is just tack this together because, you know, like normal, I'm almost out of gas, and today's Good Friday, and Total Tools is not open, so I can't buy another bottle. So yeah, my plan is to just tack this together, finish this side off to the best of my ability, and then move on to the driver's side and get that piece fabricated, tacked together, and yeah, I'll probably go pick up another bottle of gas tomorrow and get this thing fully welded out. But yeah, looking pretty good. That's what you'll see from the outside, and of course the inner side of the radiator, that's what you'll see. Not the prettiest, but hey, who cares, right? That's all that really matters, so happy with that. So yeah, as you saw, I just tacked this together, so it's fully boxed up now. I need to finish the welds, of course, once I do get some more argon, and then just go over some of the areas that have only got about 50% weld, and then of course give it a linish and clean it up. But for now, what I'm going to do is actually get this bolted to the car. So I'll work out exactly where I need to drill the hole in the rad support panel, and then I'll mark this bracket out, drill a hole, and then tap it for an M8 bolt and see how it looks. All right, the moment of truth. Okay, one more. Perfect. So you can probably see that's exactly where I've landed up to drill the hole. So I just need to drill it, tap it, and ready to go. All right, we're drilled and tapped. Time to fit it back on the car and make sure it still fits. And then onto the driver's side, at least starting to mock something up and tack it together. And then once that's done, get a fresh bottle of gas, finish welding this up, clean it up, paint it, and call it done. And here we have it, one mostly completed passenger side upper radiator mount. So it came out a lot better than I expected. Of course, it's not finished yet, but just boxing it in has made it look a lot better than I originally imagined. So yeah, really happy with that. So time to move on to the driver's side. I don't think it's going to look exactly like that, but I'll try to come close to it. It's just the profile of the rad support on the other side is quite a bit different, and yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to mimic this exactly as it is, but I don't think anyone's going to be sitting there measuring up my radiator support mounts, right? All right, let's get back to work. Right, I've got the driver's side one tacked up and I've got the finishing piece ready to go. So what I'm going to do is just give it some more solid tacks, tack in the box section, and then call it here for the day. And of course get some more gas and fully weld these out. But yeah, pretty happy with how this has turned out. Based it on the style of the passenger side one, and yeah, it looks pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and finish tacking this out, and I'll bring it back when I'm ready to fit it to the car. I have drilled the holes out on both the bracket and the rad support panel, so I just need to tap that, and yeah, I'll do that first and then I'll finish welding it. That'll do. All right, driver's side is now done. Well, tacked together, I should say. So I need to go get another bottle of gas and fully weld out both that and the passenger side. And then I can give it a quick clean up and final paint. But I don't think this is stopping me now from moving on and actually pulling out the engine. So yeah, now I can actually take everything off the engine, pull it out, get the transmission out, get this engine bay nice and empty, and then I can start getting ready to finalize this thing for paint. All right, we're going to do one last look at this engine bay before it all comes apart. So we've got the 6 boost Pro Mod manifold with a G42 1450 sitting on it. We've made up the custom 4-inch dump pipe. We've of course got the external wastegate down below, 50mm, and the external wastegate dump pipe as well, which you can just barely see there. And we've got the Plasma Man plenum, and of course the Aeroflow Race Series intercooler with the custom outlets welded on. Of course, last but not least, we've got the radiator, which we made the mounts for. So it's not going to look like this for a little while, but when it comes back together, we're going to be close. All right, so that's it for another chapter. The fabrication is all done. Let's get this thing apart. This now is the last time this thing's coming out. Next time you see these mounts, they'll be fully welded up and painted. But again, they don't need to be finished up right now. I'll do them off camera, and yeah, we'll bring them out once we're installing this radiator for good. Which is looking pretty bare now. All the bolt-ons are off, cooler, radiator, guards, bonnet, everything's off. All that's left now is the transmission, the engine, and of course the brake booster, master cylinder and steering box, which I'll take out once the engine bays are empty. Slowly getting there. It's actually exciting to be back into this stage. Alright, let's keep going and get this trans and engine out. Alright, that'll just about do it for this episode. We've done quite a bit. We've made up some upper radiator mounts and we've also taken everything out of the engine bay. Transmission's on the floor, still need to drag that out, and I need to absolutely clean my garage, but I'm done for the day. Quite exhausted and ready to edit this video for you. If you enjoyed this content, go ahead and give that like button a massive rev for me. Let's see if we can get 100 likes today. If this is the first time you've ever seen any Resto Hub videos, feel free to go back and watch the whole XT build. I've got it in the playlist right there. Otherwise, see you on the next one, legend.